Good evening, everyone. This is Saurav Vakharia, and uh, we're waiting for more attendees to come, I think. And I think in the meanwhile, we'll start also. So I hope you all are good. And today we are going to learn something deep. So I want you all to be ready for that. And I hope you enjoyed these sessions till now. And today we are going to go into the depth of what we have learned more. So I hope is my voice audible to all of you? We'll do a few checks and then we'll go further ahead. So all right. So like always, we can have replies on WhatsApp. All right. So my voice is audible to everyone. That's great. Can you see my screen? Is my screen visible to all? Okay. Yes. Yes. My screen is visible to all. That's perfect. So Uh, thank you all for joining in. And today we are going to learn about analytical algorithms, or especially data analytical algorithms. Uh, Wherever this algorithm uh, term comes into the picture, okay, especially while I'm teaching. So the students or the learners, those who are there, they generally kind of they're just scared. So मेरे algorithms आ गए ऐसा ऐसा होता है शायद इसीलिए आज अभी अटेंडीज 88 दिख रहे हैं अदरवाइज लाइक 130 140 तक होते हैं so okay my voice is too low let me set my microphone is it better am I speaking good so okay all right so I've adjusted my microphone for you all right so analytical algorithms what do you expect before I take you further what do you expect from analytical algorithms है क्या ये algorithms what are these analytical algorithms anything whatever comes to your mind आपको क्या लगता है आज आप क्या सीखने वाले हैं permutations data analysis playing with data in different ways okay hmm playing with data in different ways somebody is not able to join uh, if, okay someone can help the gentleman okay someone writes set of rules which can perform analytics okay mhm. Regression analysis. Okay. Now directly jumping to the point. That's nice. Use of data analytics in finance. I would rather say use of data analytics. आप वो finance में use करो या कहीं भी use करो. Algorithm. और उसको आप कैसे use करेंगे, कहाँ use करेंगे, it's your creativity will. I'll also discuss that. कि where would you like to use this? Algorithms which help analyzing data. Yes. Uh, Okay, Venugopal ji writing, I get your answer. Okay. Logic using data for intended purpose. Okay. Okay, that's good. Uh, all right. What is data analytics? I've got a little content written for that. Okay. Logic of using data for intended purpose. Okay. So uh, here's what there on your screen. Uh, what is data analytics? First thing, let's understand that. Then we'll discuss about the algorithms. Okay. So first thing is analytics as a process of analyzing the raw data to find the trends and the answer and the definition of data analytics kept as a broad field. So this is what I've just written there. Now it's a field where you're trying to work around with the data, try to fetch some information out of the data. We know that data has a lot of information. We know that data has a lot of you can say fruitful outcomes. Okay, uh, we can understand. much details from the data, बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. So कैसे वो जानना जरूरी है. How and what all things we can do and what these companies are doing, okay, on the data. So maybe that we are going to learn, but that we are trying to understand. Okay. So data analytics is the science of analyzing raw data in order to make conclusions about that information. So you're gonna you're gonna understand how you will analyze this raw data and what information you're going to retrieve from it. So many of the techniques and processes of data analytics have been automated, and many are manual and mechanical, using different algorithms. Okay, so let's go further. Uh, there are a couple of algorithms which I've just randomly written. Okay, don't worry on that. Which we are going to discuss here. There are many. There are many. I can't discuss all of them in this small short session of 2 hours, because data analytics is a subject by itself, and algorithms comes in that. And when I teach that, I take like 50 good hours of explanation of big data analytics. So, but then I've chosen a few algorithms, and I thought, okay, let me help you out with certain things, which is a base and which will really help you. So I'm going to talk about classification. I'm going to talk about clustering. I'm going to learn decision trees, k nearest neighbor, k means clustering, regression, all these. Uh, okay. So are you all ready to get into the algorithm dive of it? Now we need to bring our mathematician out of ourselves, and we have to think that way. Okay. I know when I say mathematician out, मतलब दिल बैठ जाता है, maths सबको अच्छा नहीं लगता. But I'm pretty sure people who are chartered accountants here are very good with numbers, at least, better than me for that matter. So even I hated maths during my academics. That happens with every student, and I'm sure I know zero about accounts, but definitely I understand that since you all are chartered accountants, I'm sure you're good with numbers and you're good with data. Okay, yeah, maths and figures are life. Exactly. So somebody's writing math would be interesting. It was interesting to me till my 10th standard because I used to top. After that, my God, the life changed. The mathematics, what we learned, the life changed. Try to understand the maths and stats we learn. It is limited to a scope. Okay. So what I'm going to teach you is limited to a scope. एक एक हद तक सही है. उसके बाद में वो गलत है. Okay, it's totally wrong. I'll give you one beautiful example just to cheer you up before we go further ahead. This example was shared to me by my mentor, Professor Mr. Ravi Gomatam. Okay, he's actually a research fellow and a scientist. Okay, so he taught me something very beautiful while giving me an example of mathematics. Now, uh, okay, somebody's written data, information, knowledge, science, intelligence. Oh, that's from the PPT. Ah, okay, yeah. So the beautiful example goes this way. Uh, how many sides of a triangle are there? Can you tell me? This is very stupid question, but yes, a very basic one. How many sides of triangle? Like three, of course. Each angle of a triangle would have a certain degrees. Okay, so if we combine all the three angles and we combine all the three angles, how many degrees do we total get? 180. Oh wow. आप सबका मैथ्स मुझसे बहुत अच्छा है. Okay, now imagine you're drawing this triangle on a piece of paper, uh, the degrees are going to be 180. Imagine now that you're drawing this triangle a little bigger, maybe a size of a room. Will the angle change? Do you think angle change होगा उसका? नहीं change होगा. Hmm. अब मैं इसी triangle को पूरे मुंबई सिटी के ऊपर draw करता हूँ. Just imagine, like I have superpowers. Okay. I am drawing this triangle entirely on Mumbai city. Will it still change the degrees? No. Okay. No, lot of no. Okay. Earth is not flat. Earth is not flat. We know that. I'm going to draw this triangle over the entire planet Earth. And now that I'm going to draw this triangle on entire planet Earth, somewhere it's going to bend. Yes. Try this experiment using a rubber band. Use a rubber band, make a triangle out of a rubber band, pull it, and try to roll it over a ball. And then you see the angles are still three. By the definition of a triangle has got three angles. Okay, but when it's pulled, it's pulled over an entire planet Earth. The triangle is going to have still three angles, but the degrees are going to move from 180 to much more. Try creating the triangle in a universe. Okay, you still have three angles, but it's going to be stretched. It's going to be stretched so hard that once it is moving onto the curve, still the three angles, but these three angles will not have the same degree. Do you agree? Somebody is writing, how about greater than 380? Uh, the total three angles will still be the same. Try it out. Uh, Even I disagreed to my professor when he taught me, but then we try stretching a rubber band and put it over the ball. And when it is stretched. The stretch is so hard. Though you've got three sides and three angles, these three angles, the you will not have each and every angle of the same degree, and the uh, addition or the summation of all the three angles is not going to be 380. Now somebody is adding, considering that the triangle is 2D, will still be the same. Okay, the point here is we never said the triangle is 280, two-dimensional. We never said that. We always said triangle. The universal truth is triangle, three angles and three sides. So that having two-dimensional is, again, we are putting a triangle at the definition into one parameter. So when we put into a parameter, it comes into a bounded scope. So in a bounded scope, the mathematics is limited and it is correct, but it is not universally correct. Triangle is but a 2D figure according to you, sir. According to you, it's a 2D figure. It's a two-dimensional figure, yes. But the same two-dimensional figure, if it is drawn over a three-dimensional space, then things are different. We perceive it as 2D because our eyes have limitations. We can perceive it as 2D. Again, you might think, no, 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 our eyes can perceive 3D. No, not. हमें तो दो dimension में ही दिखता है. So that becomes another topic of research. All right. Somebody's writing. Okay. So my point is just to tell you that just an example, the mathematics what we have learned has its own limited scope. So are going to be these algorithms because they are derived from the same. And uh, okay, also to add up a little more to it, Algorithms are a little more flexible because, especially data analytics algorithms are more flexible because they are statistical algorithms. They are not purely mathematical. So there is a vast difference between uh, statistics and mathematics. I'm sure if we've got any statistician listening would be much happy to understand and acknowledge the fact that yes, statistics is different. I hope you all agree to that. So a statistician would always talk in percentage, in the probabilities, not in the definite figures. A mathematician would always talk in a definite figures. That's one liner difference between them. I won't take further, but just one small liner difference. Moving further to understand the classification now. All right. So classification, when it comes to your mind, now I've jotted down certain things which I've written in my book. So I thought of copying the same data and showing it to you. So what do you understand by the term classification? What do you think? Creating classes? Creating classes? What do you think about classification? Okay. Or somebody has written if triangles are three, then we would be more. No, no, I'm not talking about three triangles. I spoke about a triangle. Categorizing, categories, grouping, segregating based on certain common points, meaningful information, differentiating into groups of similar characteristics, stratification of data, grouping based on the similar future sets. Okay, I'm getting a lot of good definitions. Wow. So that's interesting. Uh, what you said, some of you defined classification as classification, some of you defined clustering. Okay, there's a difference, but that's natural. Like most of us, it becomes a little difficult for us to understand classification and clustering. Oh, the webcam is on finally. You can see me. Okay. Uh, Let me put this down. So classification could be one of the biggest problem in the data set which is written. Okay, unless we make it a boon to ourselves. Now, this is what I've thought of writing. A data is vast, and we definitely term it as a big data. We try to work with this data. We try to understand that the data has its own set of qualities inside. Okay, so we try to actually differentiate. We try to categorize, but now that happens in two different forms. One is in a form of classification, another is in a form of clustering. So both are different. We'll learn that now. How that has been shown here. Okay, I think this is better. Now when the classes are defined and we need to segregate data into a defined set of classes. For example, the output of categories which are to be like red, blue, and green, or for example, the vehicles such as the bikes, the cars, the trucks. Okay, we call these as classes. The data has been classified, or it's into a set of classes. Now, classification model is a bit of a supervised model. Now we've learned yesterday, since we have already learned yesterday about supervised and unsupervised learning, classification is a supervised model wherein the set of inputs are defined. So set of classes are defined. Okay, you've been said that there is red, blue, and green, three classes. That's it. In a college or in a school, the classes are defined. So they say classes. They never say clusters. So they say there are like 10 classes, like standard 1 to standard 10. 10 classes are defined. Each class has got like 50 students. It's fixed. There's no change. You don't have 1.1 class. You don't have one and a half class. You don't have two and a half class. It's just there, perfectly there. So that's what we call, in short, creating a class. Okay. Any questions so far so that I can explain the another slide? I hope classification is clear. Then we'll go to clustering as well. No questions. I can see. All right. Another term is regression, which is also, you know, a part which we are going, which is also one of the part of classification which we are going to discuss. Now, it is when the outcome is based on the real values, okay, especially in rupees, years, or weight. Regression, of course, most of us knows because most of us are dealing with the same into our day-to-day lives. Okay, a technique for determining the statistical relationship between two or more variables where a change in a dependent variable is associated with and depends on the change in one or more independent variables. मतलब सिंपल एग्जांपल स्टॉक मार्केट का प्राइस. ओके, दैट इज आल्सो रेगुलेशन. तो स्टॉक मार्केट के प्राइस के अंदर क्या है, one thing is interlinked with another, something is connected. Okay, the input and the output of one scenario to another scenario is linked based on something, some another output is going to come. Further, what is a regression analysis? Trying to understand. And now this is something which is most importantly used, okay, in data analysis, especially the bankings. They use it a lot. The insurance companies, they use it a lot. Okay, so how do they use it? Regression analysis, it attempts to explain the influence that a set of variables has on the outcome of another variable of interest. Often that the outcome variable is called a dependent variable because the outcome depends on the other variable. Example which is given, what is a person's expected income? Or one of the example. Okay, regression analysis is being used here. So if you're trying to determine an expected income of a person, for example, if you say the person is of an age 22, uh, pass out MBA and trying to look for a job in a corporate, as maybe MBA in marketing for that matter. Expected income for an MBA in marketing, a person who's 22 years of age, just pass out, would be somewhere around like 25K, 30K. I'm just giving a rough number. Okay, it could be whatever. So that is an expected. How is that coming? One of the example. Expected stock price for tomorrow. So if you've got certain set of prices which are coming and you're planning to determine another stock prices, so expected stock prices for tomorrow based on a certain set of rules, based on whatever the price was there earlier, you try to predict. Another example is what is the probability that an applicant will default a loan. Okay, so generally you might say, it depends upon the CIBIL score. Okay, that's one of the thing. A CIBIL score, or you call it whatever, it's just a number again. It's a number game wherein you're trying to determine whether the person will default the loan or not. क्या वो अपनी लोन चुकाएगा या नहीं चुकाएगा? तो उसको लोन देनी चाहिए या नहीं देनी चाहिए? To determine that. Okay, so I'm sure you are well versed with the civil, but again, these scores, these numbers which are coming, they're coming with certain set of analysis, and that is a regression analysis which is happening. Okay, uh, for the first question, when they say whether the person's expected income, well, that falls into a category of a linear regression, and another one falls into the category of the logistic regression. So we'll try to go further. Okay, so now I see there are a few things come. Parmesh, we are a triangle on a plane. Okay, sir. Good that you found something on YouTube, but maybe I can see that later. Thank you. Okay, somebody's writing 22-year MBA, hardly possible. Oh, I'm just saying it. I have done my master's, so I thought maybe MBA was at that. I've already done my master's by then. Okay, is regression closely linked to correlation? Just because they are sounding as synonyms, you can't correlate or link them. A method of estimation of correlated data. Okay, something someone's writing. Why not 10 plus 2 plus 5 is equal to 17 plus 5-year total, 20 years possible? Okay, thank you for support, but well, I just that's not a matter of debate. That's not the matter of debate. My point, see, don't get my examples into debate. My examples are just to explain you the topic. That's not a matter of debate. 22 years में वो 30 years में वो किसको क्या करना है? I'm just trying to give you an example. Okay. I hope a regression you understood instead of these things. Shall I go ahead? Okay. Yes, no. Okay. Fair enough. All right. uh, Moving further ahead on regression analysis and where it is used. Okay, now we need to understand these data analytic algorithms. So regression analysis कहाँ कहाँ और use होता है, तो थोड़ा सा कुछ उसके बारे में और बात की जाए. Regression analysis is a useful explanatory tool that can well identify the input variables that have been the greatest statistical influence on the outcome. With such knowledge and insight, environmental changes can be attempted to produce more favorable values of the input variables. For example, it is found that the reading level of a 10-year-old student, um, if that's an excellent predictor to understand the student's success in their high school and the factor they're attending college, and an additional emphasis on reading can be considered. This is one of the example just thrown. Okay, with regression analysis, what you can do, like for example, according to the reading level of a 10-year-old student, you can determine what a student is going to do in his college, whether he's going to attend the college or not. This is prediction which is possible with regression analysis. That's what is happening. The stock market prices are being predicted. The airline cost prices predicted. I told you about once about naive Bayes. I don't know whether I mentioned it here, but naive Bayes is one of the algorithm to predict the possibilities of an occurrence. Okay, so moving further. Another understanding we need to have is learning decision trees. Now, a decision tree again, it's part of classification. Okay, I'll give you directly. This is an example of a decision tree. Can you see something? A diagram, the weather forecast, whether it's going to be sunny or cloudy or rainy. Okay, so this is a beautiful example. What do you understand from this diagram? I want to have your understanding, then I'll tell you my understanding. I've just shared a diagram of a weather forecast. Looking at the diagram, what do you understand? What do you predict? If you can just write that down. Then I'll share my understanding with you. Possibilities. Okay. Can we be a little crisp on the possibilities? A few possibilities, if you can mention. Not all, but a few. Like a many-to-many relationship gives accurate various options, answer, prediction based on the study of some post events, some combinations, lot of things. Whether it will rain or not, if sunny and cloudy, then partially cloudy, classification on the basis of decision tree. Okay, that's exactly how we are doing. If then basically this entire graph, a decision tree, is showing us two important factors. You know what two factors they are there? That is and or. Uh, these are two logical factors which it is trying to show us, and or. So I'll say in a weather forecast, there could be sunny, or there could be cloudy, or it could be rainy. Looking at the diagram, okay, and there is another option where we can have, instead of or condition, there could be and condition. Okay. Oh, so that and condition is, if it's like partially cloudy, if you see, it's connected to sunny as well as cloudy. So in partially cloudy condition, there is sunny and cloudy both. And when they say it's cloudy, it could be partially cloudy, or there could be dense clouds. So in this scenario, we can assume a lot of and situations and or situations which are happening. So decision trees, okay, they work on the and or graph. This this and this or this. So when they say and when it is and, it means combining two conditions. If it is or, it means either of the condition. Based on that, the entire decision trees work. All right, so now I'm coming to the text, something I'm sharing, written material. A decision tree represents classification. A decision tree, it'll show you a set of classifications, like one class to another, like we saw in that example. Okay, uh, a decision tree learning is the most promising technique for the supervised classification learning. Of course, supervised, not unsupervised, because the set of variables are definite. Since it is a decision tree, it is meant to take decision and being a learning decision tree and train itself and learns from the experience of set of input iterations. Now, these input iterations are also well known as input training sets or the training data. So it works on the training data, like when something machines are learning, especially in machine learning, they work on this input set of data. Now, decision trees predict the future based on the previous learning, and input rule sets, it takes in multiple input values and returns back a probable output with a single value considered as the decision. That is the reason they are called as learning decision trees. They learn and they give you a set of outcomes. Certain set of examples I would like to share what a decision tree can help you with. For example, you need to buy a pair of shoes. Now, I have used this example because I am fond of shoes. So, how many of you are fond of shoes? I don't know, but so if in case you want to buy a pair of shoes, we will start with certain set of questions when we have to buy a pair of shoes. For example, first one is, do we need one? If the answer is no, I don't need one, still I will buy. You might not. Uh, like second would be, what would be the budget? When it comes to pair of shoes, sometimes you might set up a budget. A person like me would never set a budget, no budget. Whether you want a formal or informal, okay, that's a real problem here. Whether you want a formal shoes or an informal shoes. So again, you might think कि कैसा लेना चाहिए, कैजुअल ले ले, फॉर्मल ले ले, इनफॉर्मल ले ले, ऐसा ले ले कि दोनों में चले, समथिंग लाइक दैट. Is it for a special occasion you are thinking कि भाई कोई specific occasion में हमें use करना? It could be a formal occasion, it could be a casual occasion. Which color suits, or what color do you always go for? Again, a big dilemma. Which would be the most durable brand? Of course, if you're a brand conscious person, why not? Shall we wait for some more special sale? Okay. Now, if everything is met, last question could be, this is a real-time example coming from me. Okay. But this happens. Do you get some certain type of examples in your life also when you are purchasing something? Okay. क्या आप लोगों को भी ऐसा कुछ dilemma होता है? हाँ या ना? When you are purchasing something. So yeah, so we all have got such dilemma. Like we are confused about what to buy, what not to buy. So decision trees gives us an idea. Like it gives us a broad opening. Okay, if you start answering these questions, you will end up making one of the tree diagram, and then you'll feel, wow, now I have an answer. You try to answer these questions, sit, spare a time, try to answer, and then you will end up making a tree diagram. Okay, the one we saw, something like this kind of diagram you'll end up making. Yes, no, okay, if yes, then this, if no, then this. Okay, and then you'll go further, 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 further. I want to show yes or no, दो possibilities. Yes है तो फिर उसके बाद में possibility price कितना है, इतना है, इतना, इतना है. Okay, then further, then further, then further. So you will boil down to some solution. So this is something which always happens in our brain when we are calculating. Okay, let me go further. Understanding the evaluation of classification models. I hope people are understanding these. I just need to have your confirmation while I'm going further so that I hope this is not going too intense till now. All right, going good. Good, good, good. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback because I have to control myself, and because I have always taught a lot of science students. So I need to control myself on going into the depth. Needs more some expansion on the first title. First title. What is a heuristic model? Okay, I'll explain you the heuristic. I'll explain you. I'll explain you. I have not yet started those. We expect it to be intense. What's the point in learning AI otherwise? Okay, I am scared because I'm talking to chartered accountants, and because if I make it too intense, then people might get bored, which I really don't want. That's the reason I'm trying to cut down to. I've yet not gone into the logistic regression and linear regression in more depth and detail. There's a lot more into it. So anyway, so evaluation of classification models has been done into the four different categories. Now, this is not uh, a standard, or I would say this is not the fixed category. Okay, these categories are the ones created by me, you can say, or according to my knowledge, I can always say. Okay, I wouldn't tell you कि ये अलावा कुछ नहीं है. Okay, so to go with that, let me. I've got to show you something. Okay, so you can still see the four categories, right? Okay. Information and practical examples will do more. Okay, thank you. We'll do that. All right. So understanding the heuristic model. Okay. Uh, in a heuristic model, what's happening? Uh, let's understand that. Is my screen visible to all? Because this software is behaving. Okay, fine. So, right. Let me just. Uh, okay, perfect. Done. Okay, so my screen is visible to all, and heuristic model. Now, heuristic, when the term comes, heuristics, it means based on a certain pattern wherein you are learning from a pattern. Okay, you're discovering in a different set of pattern. That is heuristics. Okay, so there are certain classification models which are based on heuristics. Now, heuristic is an evolving technique, which means to search for new patterns. You look for something different. नई patterns को ढूंढना. Okay, okay. Rather, I would personally call it as a pattern-based technique. And heuristic model refers to a technique based on an experience for various tasks, such as problem solving, discovery, learning, uh, and which gives away certain set of patterns to a thinker. Okay, the heuristic methods enhance the speed of finding the desirable solution in conditions where the comprehensive search is not feasible. So it makes the search much faster. So heuristic search is also one of the another implementation. Okay, so in a heuristic model, it will find out new different set of patterns and it will try to classify. Second is a separation model. I call it as a divide and rule model. Okay, divide and rule model. To explain that, I'll also explain you a support vector machine, one of the separation model. So what happens here is in separation model, the the categories are divided into two and more uh, categories, like however it is. So to classify, you separate one from another. So for example, separate. Uh, I'm trying to separate. I've got two mixed color balls, and I'm trying to separate one ball from another. I've got black and white balls, and I'm just trying to, move them separately. Black, I'm putting it separate. White, I'm putting it separate. So just divide and rule. Just divide it. Well, and after that comes the regression models. A regression technique, I just explained you a little bit. So wherein it depends upon one to another. Okay. So according to if you go with the definition of that, regression is a technique for determining the statistical relationships between two or more variables where the change is dependent variable and is associated with and depends on the change in one or more independent variables. So change in one affects another, change in another affects another. Okay. And then there is probabilistic, there are probabilistic models based on the probability of the occurrences. Something will happen at the set of probability. Like for example, I can see it's cloudy. So the probability of raining is higher. I see the sky is clear. The probability that it will rain is very, very low. Okay, so these are probabilistic models. Because there is a vacation season coming, so the prices of maybe a water park might increase. Because it is a holiday season coming, the prices of certain travel itineraries will go high. Probability, just or because of certain scenario, or maybe I can say, for an instance, from past 10 years I have a set of data which says that In the month of May, the temperature of Mumbai city is for example, 35 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. From past 10 years, the data is that. So the probability of having the same current year is also going to be between 35 to 40. So these are those probabilistic models wherein it defines, okay, uh, again, best classification models. How to determine a best classification model? It is determined with certain set of factors. The speed of the model, how fast it's computing, okay, the accuracy, the correctness of the model, how accurate it is classifying, the scalability of the model when we are trying to implement. It should be scalable enough, interoperability between one and another, and the robustness. That is, there are no bugs, no errors. It should work affluent. So based on these measures, we can have a best fit classification model being used. Understanding support vector machine. Now, to make you understand the classification model, we'll talk about support vector machines. Okay, so this is one of my favorite explanation to make you understand classification. Okay, so support vector machine is an algorithm which is used in classification in a supervised learning algorithm example. Now I have an image in front of you and I want your understanding from the image. All right. Uh, okay, sorry, I missed few messages. I just opened my WhatsApp. Uh, Heuristic model example. Okay, heuristic model example, I can say a model where different new discoveries are happening. For example, trying to find out the trends in the deforestation, trying to find out the weather patterns, trying to find out pattern of a you can say person, the buying and selling of the pattern of buying and selling. Okay, that's trying to find out the trend in current consumers mobile phones purchase. So these are the examples of heuristic models where you're trying to find that out. And you're creating the set of classes based on that. Okay, hope the examples are understood. Okay, moving. So now there is something on. Oh, is the screen freezed? Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I then you might have. Oh, can you see the screen now? Is it visible? I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Okay. Uh, so classification models. As I said, what all the best classification model when you're looking for. And now we're going to talk about support vector machine, one of the best example to make you understand about the classification. Okay, now there is something there in front of your screen. What do you understand? Just wild random guesses. I'm going to show you a few pictures, okay, and I'm going to um, ask you random guesses. Now try to guess in context to classification. So there's something is there in front of the screen. Scatter diagram. Okay. Classification of A, B, C. Okay. Okay. Slope. Okay. Demand and supply scale with the help of market price. Segregation. No, no, this is not clustering. Definitely not clustering. Uh, Circles out of region. Okay. Circles are out of region. Good observation. I like that observation. Okay. Something coming more. I just want you to observe. And just give me throw whatever. Should there be only two classes instead of three? Not necessarily. There can be multiple classes. Uh, what is the above baseline of C? I didn't get your question, please. Interdependence on each classification. We learn the scale while learning costing subject. I never knew that. I never teach costing. Graphical representation of something. Segregation model. Yes, graphical representation of something. That's very true. It is. Okay. Now let me ask you a question based on what you are seeing. In this scenario, okay, you can see my pointer. In this entire scenario, this is a plane, two-dimensional graphical representation of a plane, and there are three hyperplanes from A and then B and C. A, B, and C are the three hyperplanes. They are trying to cut this plane into its own hyperplane. Okay, out of these three, which one do you think is best suitable example which is showing a correct classification of two different sets? Okay, A. Somebody is writing B. Okay, A. Everyone is writing A. Okay, why A? Nota. Okay, I wish I would have asked Nota. None of the above. B, A, C. Somebody said C. Okay, A and C. A and C. Okay. Okay. Those who said, I want to know from all of you. Those who said A, why A? Why A? Those who said A, only they will tell me why A. And those first that segregates circle and stars, separating items with similar, dividing circles and stars. Okay, fair enough. Those who said B, why B? Why B? Those who said B, only they can answer. Why B? It's okay. Every understanding is correct. So I'll not. Um, for A, okay, true positive and true false. Okay, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Those who said B, just a B ka. Why B? Why you chose B? It's an increasing trend. Okay. Oh, you thought that no, no, it's a hyperplane. It's cutting down. So maybe you thought because it's just a half of the plane. Okay, fair enough. Those who said C, why C? See, because if you ignore the circle and the stars and see them as points, then you can see the trend line going down. Okay, good observation. Uh, well, observation is right, but somewhere we are not understanding the trend. Rather, we are trying to understand the two classes. Maximum number seven circle and three star. Maximum seven. Oh, okay. You calculated that way. Good. I liked it. People are calculating in their own way. So maybe your classification algorithms in your brain are working that way. That's fair enough. No problem. But while doing classification, the thumb rule says you need to classify two separate classes, keeping circles and stars separate because stars belongs to one category, circles belongs to another category. The hyperplane which will divide them equally, or rather a hyperplane which will divide them to divide the stars and the circles would be considered. The true answer is A, not B and not C. All right. So that's one thumb rule of support vector machine. Second, now you see, अगर A सही था, it has divided equally. Okay, circles either, stars either. Ab from A, B, and C, you can see another. Which one fits best? A, B, or C? Somebody's writing C, C, C. You need to give explanation for C. All fits better. Somebody's writing. Okay. Those who are writing C, I am going to ask explanations. ऐसा स्कूल में होता है जब स्टूडेंट ट्रू और फॉल्स में ट्रू बोल देता है फिर पूछते हैं क्यों ट्रू ऐसा. Okay, so C. Why C? Why did you find C? Because C shows a clean break between stars and circles. Okay, your eyes are observing that way. Why did your eyes observe that clean break? Equally effective, it divides the patterns perfectly. Okay, even A is dividing it perfectly. ए ने बुरा नहीं काम किया, उसने भी परफेक्टली डिवाइड किया है, स्टार एक तरफ सर्कल एक तरफ, बट ए भी हो सकता था, बी भी हो सकता था, सेंटर ऑफ बोथ अगेन नॉट नेसेसरी कि वो सेंटर है इसलिए। अगर इसको इस फिगर को कुछ इस तरीके से बनाया जाए कि भले वो सी सेंटर है लेकिन वो सी स्टार्स के ज्यादा नजदीक है और सर्कल से दूर है, तो वो सेंटर नहीं होता। तो ऐसा भी पॉसिबल था। टचेस एक्स एक्सिस, C line touches axis line. Okay, no, that is just to confuse you. It has nothing to do with that. C visually C is better. Logically, all are same. C has taken plus minus possibilities. All right, I'll tell you why. Now, can you see this pointer? मेरा ये red color का pointer दिख रहा है आप सबको? Okay, so from all the stars, which we have to see one of the star which is the outermost. For example, this is an outermost star. Out of all the circles, how this machine calculates, I'm telling you that out of all these circles, one of the outermost is this one. So the distance from this circle to here and the distance of this star to here, we calculate that. Then we calculate the distance of this star to this B. We'll calculate the distance of the star to A. Then we will calculate the distance of the circle to this A, and from the circle to C, and this circle to B. Now, after having all the 6 distances, we will find that the distance of the circle to C and the star to C is almost equal, not exact equal, almost equal, better than having the equality of B, better than having the equality of A hyperplane and B hyperplane, the equality of C hyperplane from the last most element of the class which has been taken care. Hence, we consider C as an equal hyperplane dividing the classification. So did you mean to say standard deviation is where then in the case? Okay, yeah. How does that affect the decision? That affects the decision because in support vector machine, it has been programmed similarly. Okay, I'll tell you why. All the inputs by which the stars have been categorized and all the inputs by which the circles are categorized. Just for example, assume करो ये जो x and y है ना, we are trying to classify 2 flowers. Okay, I'll answer how does that affects the decision. Try to listen to this very carefully. X और y जो है, I'm trying to classify a flower, rose for example. मैं रोज फ्लावर को क्लासिफाई करना चाहता हूँ 2 कैटेगरी में, या तो ये फूल लाल है या तो ये फूल व्हाइट है. ओके, so for example, the proportion of white in this color is signified by this y, and the proportion of red in this color is signified by the x. ओके, सो एक्स एंड वाई से मैं डिफाइन करूंगा कि भाई मेरा रोज के अंदर का प्रोपोर्शन कब सा है. सो if the proportion of the color is more towards red, okay, and less towards white, I consider it as red category. And the proportion towards white is more and the red is less, I consider it as a white category of rose. Okay, so if you consider that and you're trying to create 2 classes, that whether it is a red rose or a white rose, so we need to come to a conclusion how much red and how much white. To measure that, it will totally depend upon the number of inputs received. So all my inputs, since they are a definite inputs, these definite inputs will give me an idea the proportion of redness and the proportion of whiteness. Okay, and they will qualify somewhere that C is something which is having an equidistance, which is equal good distance to qualify the red and white. Hence, we'll come to a decision uh, whether to classify that into two categories. Okay, I hope I'm able to, you know, explain this. Mr. Naveen, I think you asked the question. Mm, Let me show you one more. Thank you, thank you. So one more diagram. अब ये सीन देखो, ए और बी क्या करेंगे? अब आप तो फटाक से बोल दोगे ए या फटाक से बोल दोगे बी, क्या बोलोगे आप? इस सिनेरियो में ए बोल देंगे। रीजन सिंपल है, ए बिकॉज टू आर बीन क्लासिफाइड सेपरेटली। पहला रूल नंबर वन इज सेटिस्फाइंग, तो ए हो गया। बी रूल नंबर वन को सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर रहा। सो इन क्लासिफिकेशन में rules are to be considered both first and second. First rule is this, equal parts, and second rule is equal to this. तो दोनों रूल को हमें सेटिस्फाई करना है। यहाँ पर पहले रूल को भी बी ने सेटिस्फाई नहीं किया, ए ने कर लिया। ओके, डन, बिंगो। लाओ दिस सिनेरियो, अब क्या करेंगे? Somebody wrote both lines are wrong. Or no, both lines are not wrong. uh, in this scenario क्या करेंगे? Can you see something different? Can you see something different here? There is only one single partition. अब क्या करेंगे? कभी ऐसा सिनेरियो भी आ सकता है। The partition is done perfectly. Superb है। So there is something, some extra. हाँ, किसी ने लिखा ignore it. That's exactly. Ignore the exception. छोड़ो, जाने दो, कुछ नहीं कर सकते। We call this as an outlier in this scenario. So when the classification is happening and you get certain situations, we call it as an outlier, and outliers are ignored. Lovely. Okay, how about this? How about this one? इसमें क्या करेंगे? इसको कैसे आप क्लासिफाई करेंगे? इग्नोर कितना इग्नोर करेंगे भाई? इसमें इग्नोर नहीं करना। यहाँ पे you can't ignore the the outcomes are in four quadrants. यहाँ और यहाँ क्लासिफाई नहीं कर रहे, अब तो पूरा फैल गए हर जगह। आप रेड और व्हाइट रोज को डिफाइन कर रहे थे रेडनेस और व्हाइटनेस से, ये तो कुछ उल्टा ही हो गया। और भी अलग अलग इनपुट्स आने लगे। अब क्या करेंगे? हाउ विल यू क्लासिफाई? सी, विजुअली तो दिख रहा है कि ये बीच में जो ये स्टार्स है ना, ये एक कैटेगरी है और ये बाहर वाली दूसरी कैटेगरी है। लेकिन इसको क्लासिफिकेशन में क्लासिफाई किया कैसे जाए? मैथमेटिकली कैसे किया जाए? क्लोजनेस टू द सेंटर, तो क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं, फिर ये क्लस्टरिंग बन जाएगा। के मीन्स क्लस्टरिंग। हम क्लोजनेस टू द सेंटर में नहीं जाने वाले। सर्कल्स आर मोर देन स्टार्स। ओके, उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला। सर्कल्स स्टार्स अगर ज्यादा इक्वल है तो equal number of stars, draw a circle. We can't draw a circle because support vector machine in graph you can have a hyperplane cuts this way. Mathematically possible नहीं है। hyperplanes ऐसे कट करेगा, ऐसे कट करेगा, ऐसे। it will draw a line, बस लाइन ड्रॉ होने वाली है। So this kind of scenarios happens when the inputs are multi-dimensional. अभी तक दो डायमेंशन में इनपुट आ रहे थे। जब इनपुट मल्टी डिमेंशनल होते हैं तो क्या किया जाता है? What we have four lines from each quadrant and use the four lines as a condition? No, आप चार लाइन एक ऐसे 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 नहीं डाल सकते। तो आपकी क्लास में ऐसा हो जाएगा कि आपके सर्कल की चार क्लासेस बन जाएंगी और स्टार की भी चार क्लास बन जाएगी। मतलब ये पॉसिबल नहीं है कि सर्कल की भी चार क्लास बन रही है, स्टार की भी चार क्लास बन रही है। क्यों? क्योंकि वो सब तो एक ही है ना। फिर कैसे आप बोल सकते हो कि वो अलग है? तो वो तो डेफिनेशन से ही अलग हो जाएगा। मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ हमारे पास दो रंग के बॉल है, एक काला और एक लाल, और आप बता रहे हैं कि चार लाल अलग टाइप के हैं, चार अलग अलग टाइप के हैं, जबकि दोनों चार सारे के सारे आठ सेम ही कलर के हैं। So what will we'll do? We will Generally, in this scenario, what happens? The classification is scooped out. To scoop this out, since we have only one single line hyperplane to cut this down, what we are going to do, what if I move this and fold it? इसको बोलते हैं folding. ऊपर से नीचे मैं पेपर की तरह उसको फोल्ड कर दूं. फोल्ड कर देने से क्या होगा? कुछ ऐसा होगा. अगर मैं फोल्ड कर दूंगा तो नीचे वाले एलिमेंट्स मैं सारे ऊपर मूव कर दूंगा. पेपर फोल्ड कर दिया मैंने. अब मैं यहाँ पे एक सिंगल लाइन से ऐसे हाफ पार्ट मार के क्लासिफाई कर सकता हूँ. आई हैव वन सिंगल लाइन टू क्लासिफाई ऐसे बीच में. आर यू गेटिंग इट? डोंट गो ऑन द सोफिस्टिकेटेड ड्राइंग. ये मतलब मेरी बुरी वाली ड्राइंग है. हमने क्या किया? नवीन सर सेज नो. आई टेल यू, वी आर फोल्डिंग. ये जो ऊपर का पार्ट है और ये नीचे का पार्ट है, इसको फोल्ड कर दिया जाता है, क्लोज कर दिया जाता है. जैसे पेपर को हम दो टुकड़े में फोल्ड करते हैं. पेपर फोल्ड करते हैं, नीचे वाला ऊपर फोल्ड कर दिया. तो हमने जो 4 डायमेंशनल क्वाड्रेंट था उसको 2 डायमेंशन में कन्वर्ट कर दिया और उस हाइपर प्लेन को यहां से कट करने की कोशिश की. अब स्टार्स की एक क्लास, सर्कल्स की एक क्लास. आर यू गेटिंग इट? आई होप आई एम एबल टू जस्टिफाई दिस बिकॉज इसके लिए थोड़ा सा हमें विजुलाइज करना होगा. ओके, थैंक यू. ओके, मूविंग फर्दर, some practical example. They aren't, but then aren't you manipulating the data? No, no, we are not manipulating the data. We are not manipulating the data. The data is still circles and stars, so we are not manipulating the data. हमें उनको classify करना है. Okay, आपको एक example चलो दे देता हूँ. बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल दे देता हूँ. चलो सुनो, इसे ध्यान में रखो. क्लासिफिकेशन और क्लस्टरिंग मल्टी डिमेंशन में हो रहा था. जैसे कि I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Hold on to your imaginations. We are trying to classify two things. We are trying to classify humans as males and females. ठीक है? हम ह्यूमन बींग्स को दो पार्ट में क्लासिफाई कर रहे हैं. एक मेल, जेंडर क्लासिफिकेशन हो रहा है, मेल और फीमेल. अभी क्या हो रहा है? सबकी एज अलग है. सब अलग अलग रीजन से हैं. सबका अलग स्ट्रक्चर है. ठीक है? अभी मैंने मेल्स का क्लासिफिकेशन किया. मैंने एक एक पर्टिकुलर कंट्री लिया. सो ऑल इंडियन मेल्स, they look different than all the Australian males and all the African males, all the Chinese males. मैं जानबूझ के थोड़ा सा ऐसा कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज बट दे आर स्टिल मेल्स ऑफ कोर्स. तो अभी क्या हो रहा है इन सिनेरियो में? I have what I am going to do is I have got all the males from China. I've got males from Australia. I've got males from South Africa. I've got males from India. Okay, so the entire structure, the height, the skin tone, the looks, they are different. Indians would look similar. All the Chinese men will look similar. All the African men will look similar. All the Australian men will look similar, but again, they all belong to one class, that all are males. So consider these circles are Indian men, these circles are Chinese men, this circle Australian, these circles South African. But now that I am clubbing them together, I'm just clubbing them together because my classification is only to understand two categories, two broader categories, whether they are males or females. Similar goes for the stars. Okay, I hope you're getting it. In real scenario, when we get data, जब हमारे पास डेटा आता है और उस डेटा के ऊपर हमें काम करना होता है तो इस तरीके से होता है. सपोर्ट वेक्टर मशीन उसको इस तरीके से आउटपुट निकालने की कोशिश करता है. I hope the example which I tried to give you justified. Okay, no questions. I think I can go ahead. Clustering. After the classifications, there comes clustering. In these all diagrams, our aim is to segregate both. Yes, our aim is to segregate only two. So in a way, we are adding one additional filter to classify. No, Naveenji, we are not adding any filter here to classify. Rather, we are combining the data. All right. Going to clustering, which is unsupervised model. अब तक क्लासिफिकेशन था जो सुपरवाइज्ड मॉडल था, जहां पर एक फिक्स्ड अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा था, फिक्स्ड अमाउंट ऑफ नंबर्स थे, फिक्स्ड अमाउंट ऑफ कैटेगरीज थी। ओके, बता दिया गया था कि 3 कैटेगरी है, 2 कैटेगरी, अभी तक हम वही बोल रहे हैं, 2 कैटेगरी फिक्स है भाई, तीसरी नहीं, स्टार है और सर्कल है, और कोई कैटेगरी नहीं है। लेकिन अब मानो मैं क्लासिफाई कर रहा हूँ, for example, I'm classifying the category of the flower. Let me hold on. I'm just trying to show you in a different way. I'll open Paint and I'll draw something and I'll show you. Hmm, okay. Can you see? Okay. मेरी ड्राइंग पे मत जाना, पूरी है, but काम चल जाएगा. And now in this scenario, I'm trying to find out 2 things. For example, I've got uh, a color of rose. I'm trying to find out what different types of rose are there. So there are red roses, there are white roses. हमारे पास, और एक फ्लावर को कैटेगराइज करने के लिए हमारे पास 2 चीजें हैं, रेड और व्हाइट. ओके, सो अब क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, लेट्स से ये जो सर्कल है मैं जो ड्रॉ करूंगा, ओके, लेट्स से दिस सर्कल, इट इज व्हाइट रोज. ओके, so for example, this is a circle wherein there are a lot of white, and here I am making, I'll use something else. Maybe I can use this one. Yeah. Okay, as I said, don't go on my lovely drawing. Okay, so now in this scenario, what I've shown you is there are certain set of points. Okay, uh, a set of point here. This part, what I see, these are the red part. ओके, एंड दिस इज अ वाइट पार्ट. सो मैं फ्लावर्स निकाल रहा था एक बड़े से बास्केट में से, और उस फ्लावर को मैं देख रहा था, फ्लावर के अंदर व्हाइट का प्रपोर्शन कुछ ज्यादा था, रेड का प्रपोर्शन थोड़ा था, तो मैंने उसको यहाँ लिख दिया. अब उसी फ्लावर में रेड का प्रोपोर्शन बहुत ज्यादा था और व्हाइट का प्रोपोर्शन बहुत मिनिमल था, तो मैंने यहाँ लिख दिया. मान लो यहाँ पर ये स्केल है 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. तो white and red is being scaled between 1 to 10 and 1 to 10 here. Okay, so the amount of redness and the amount of white color in the same defines 2. यहाँ तक तो ठीक है, यहाँ तक तो चल रही है बात कि बहुत सही चल रहा है. मान लो कुछ ऐसा सिनेरियो आता है, सिनेरियो में कुछ ऐसा आता है कि यहाँ पर आउटपुट आना शुरू हो जाता है. ओके, जिसमें एक और व्हाट आई सी, एक और कैटेगरी बननी शुरू हो जाती है कि द प्रपोर्शन ऑफ रेड इज दिस मच एंड द प्रपोर्शन ऑफ व्हाइट इज दिस मच. अब क्या करेंगे, ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल जैसा है. ऐसे सिनेरियो में क्या करना चाहिए आप बताइए. अब तक यहाँ व्हाइट ज्यादा था, रेड कम था, तो हमने बोला व्हाइट है. जिसमें रेड ज्यादा है, व्हाइट कलर कम है, तो हमने बोला वो रेड रोज है. लेकिन कुछ, हाँ, सो यहाँ पे एक थर्ड क्लास क्रिएट हो गई, ये पिंक हो गई. इसको मैं बोल दिया रेड और व्हाइट जब मिक्स हो जाता है तो पिंक बन गई, तो पिंक रोज हो गया. दिस एग्जैक्टली हैपेंस इन क्लस्टरिंग. क्लस्टरिंग क्या करता है, दो क्लास को, क्लासिफिकेशन में क्या था, दो क्लास इक्वली बता दिए थे. क्लासिफिकेशन में अगर क्लासिफिकेशन होता तो सीधा एक हाइपर प्लेन में ऐसे डिवाइड करके कहानी खत्म कर दी जाती. जबकि क्लस्टरिंग में ऐसा नहीं होता. क्लस्टरिंग में देखा जाता है बेस्ड ऑन द डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ एलिमेंट्स व्हिच हैव बीन रिसीव्ड. उसको देख के बेस्ड ऑन द इनपुट्स इट क्रिएट्स इट्स ओन सेट ऑफ क्लास. तो क्लस्टरिंग में क्या किया जाता है, वो क्लास क्रिएट करता है. इट्स ओके, दिस इज अ थर्ड क्लास. मान लो यहाँ फोर्थ क्लास हो सकती थी, यहाँ कहीं फिफ्थ क्लास हो सकती थी, अलग अलग क्लस्टर्स फॉर्म हो जाते हैं। जब अलग अलग क्लस्टर्स फॉर्म हो जाते हैं तो अलग अलग क्लास बन जाती है उसकी खुद की। सो इट इज अगेन डिवाइडेड, अगेन उसको डिवाइड किया जाता है। तो दिस प्रोसेस वी कॉल एज क्लस्टरिंग। ओके, आई कम बैक टू द पीपीटी। Okay, you can see the PPT now. What if the parameters are of qualitative in nature? I need to again explain you qualitative and quantitative then. Your question is justified, Mr. Naveen, I understand. But then I need to get into the another loop of qualitative and quantitative data. So let me first clear this. We have something more to finish. Okay, moving further with the clustering part. Now, clustering is done in two different parts or two different types. One is soft clustering, another is hard clustering. Is my screen visible to all? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So clustering is again into two parts. One is soft clustering, another is hard clustering. How? For an instance, we are developing a website for writing a blog. एक मैंने example लिखा है यहाँ पे, ठीक है? I'll just narrate you the example. हम एक website बना रहे हैं blogs लिखने के लिए. Now your blog belongs to a particular categories such as science, technology, arts, fiction, etc. So आप अलग अलग blogs लिख रहे हैं. आप साइंस के ब्लॉग लिख रहे हो, आर्ट के ब्लॉग लिख रहे हो, टेक्नोलॉजी के लिख रहे हो. So it might be possible that the article which is written could belong or relate two or more categories. ऐसा हो सकता है कि साइंस फिक्शन की कैटेगरी है या आर्ट्स एंड टेक्नोलॉजी की कैटेगरी है. एक ब्लॉग दो कैटेगरी में जा सकता है. यस, पॉसिबल है. Now in this case, if we restrict our blogger to choose one of the category, then we would call this as hard or strict clustering method. मान लो कि आपकी वो ब्लॉगर साइट आपको बोलती है आपको किसी में से कोई एक ही चूज करना है. आप आपके पास चॉइस वन ऑफ द अबव है. You cannot have you have radio buttons and you don't have check boxes. तो क्या करेंगे? तो भाई ये हार्ड क्लस्टरिंग हो जाएगा कि ईदर ऑफ द कैटेगरी में जाना पड़ेगा. ओके, व्हेन अ यूजर कैन रिमेन इन एनी ऑफ द कैटेगरी, लेट्स से इट्स पॉसिबल to have in multiple category. Okay, so then we will call it as a soft clustering. So अगर मुझे मुझे अलाउ किया जाता है, चेक बॉक्सेस मिलते हैं, तो that is fine. Okay, so that is how the two clustering methods are defined. It's hard clustering when the clusters are definite. एक क्लस्टर बन गया तो इसी क्लस्टर में रहना है आपको. एंड देयर कुड बी सॉफ्ट क्लस्टरिंग कि आप दो क्लस्टर शेयर कर सकते हो एक साथ. आप यहाँ भी रह सकते हो और यहाँ भी रह सकते हो बिकॉज आपकी बिलोंगिंगनेस दोनों में कहीं तो बीच में है. सो दैट इज अगेन पॉसिबल. Now, clustering algorithms and methods, there are certain methods which are defined in that. We are going to discuss that. Okay, quickly. A connectivity clustering method. Now, what happens here in this is a model based on connectivity between the data points. Okay, so these models are based on the notion that the data points which are closer to data space exhibit more similarity to each other than the data points lying farther away. तो इसके के अंदर क्या हो जाता है कि इट इज ऑन द नोशन के डेटा पॉइंट्स एक दूसरे के साथ कितने क्लोज हैं. तो वी कॉल दैट एज वन क्लस्टर. बहुत सिंपल है. दूसरा क्लस्टरिंग पार्टीशन मेथड्स. सो इट वर्क्स ऑन डिवीजन मेथड वेयर द डिवीजन और पार्टीशन बिटवीन द डेटा सेट इज क्रिएटेड स्ट्रेट हाइपरप्लेन से, जैसे हमने सपोर्ट वेक्टर मशीन से देखा. सो क्लस्टर्स बनने के बाद उनमें डिवीजन क्रिएट कर दिया जाता है. सो दीज पार्टीशंस आर प्रीडिफाइंड एज नॉन एम्प्टी सेट्स. So this is good for a small data set, not for bigger. Then comes centroid cluster method. Clustering करने की एक और method है centroid. So in this model, रिवॉल्व अराउंड वन सेंटर एलिमेंट, एक सेंटर एलिमेंट है और उसके आजू बाजू सारा क्लस्टर क्रिएट होते जा रहा है. Okay, so the closest data point to that center data, which is also known as K means clustering, where the center data is the which is considered as K, और उसके आजू बाजू क्रिएट होते जा रहे हैं. मतलब एक एक हमने वैल्यू दे दी, इसके जैसा मैंने बोल दिया कि आप एक पर्टिकुलर इंसान के जैसे हो. अ, अगर अगर मैं ऐसे बोल दूं कि सलमान खान जैसे, तो सारे वो बॉडी बिल्डर जो अपनी बॉडी बना रहे हैं उसके जैसे दिखते हैं, हाइट में सलमान की तरह है और फीचर्स में उसकी तरह, तो सलमान खान जैसे, तो वो सलमान बिकम्स अ सेंटर और बाकी सारे उसके रिवॉल्व अराउंड हो रहे हैं उसके जैसे. हायरार्किकल क्लस्टरिंग मेथड, इन दिस मेथड डिस्क्राइब्स द ट्री बेस्ड स्ट्रक्चर. और तो यहाँ पर हायरार्किकल मेथड हो जाती है, वेर इन वी क्रिएट वन क्लस्टर सुपर क्लस्टर एंड देन वी क्रिएट सब क्लस्टर्स के अ ब्रॉडर कैटेगरी ऑफ अ क्लस्टर, उसमें से सब क्लस्टर कैटेगरी. तो मैंने सारे एक क्लस्टर बना दिए कि जिसके अंदर सारे रेड आ गए. उसके बाद में मैंने पिंक एक अलग से निकाला, रेड के अंदर से मतलब दिस इज अ कैटेगरी विच women can do the best. There is a red, and then there is cherry red, and then there is some another kind of red, and then there is some another kind of red. I'm just giving a joking example. ओके, सो दैट इज हायरार्किकल क्लस्टरिंग. आप एक सुपर क्लस्टर के अंदर और मल्टी क्लस्टर्स अच्छा बनाए जा रहे हो अंदर से, और अच्छा ये टाइप का भी ऐसा ऐसा. सो फॉर एग्जांपल दिस कैन वर्क एवरीवेयर, दिस कैन वर्क इन फ्लावर्स. के फॉर एग्जांपल रोज है, तो अब रोज के ब्रॉडर कैटेगरी बन गई, तो अब रेड रोज हो गया, येलो रोज हो गया, ग्रीन रोज हो गया, ब्लू रोज हो गया, पता नहीं जितने टाइप के कलर के रोज. आई एम जस्ट सेइंग इट. ओके, आई नो ग्रीन एंड ब्लू होते कि नहीं, बट जस्ट टू गिव एग्जांपल. Then density-based clustering method. In this method, the density of the closest data set is considered to form a cluster. So the more number of closer data, the denser the data inputs. So this is a density-based data set method जहाँ पर सबसे ज्यादा dense output किधर है वो देखा जाता है, सबसे ज्यादा बहुत सारे elements एक साथ किधर है. So I would say कि इट वर्क्स ऑन द मैक्सिमम प्रोबेबिलिटी. अगर ज्यादा लोगों ने हाँ बोला तो ओके ये होगा, ज्यादा लोगों ने ना बोला तो ओके ये होगा. ज्यादा डेंसिटी किधर है उसके बेसिस पे हम आउटकम डिफाइन करेंगे. ओके, then comes your k-means clustering. Again, this is another little bit in depth, because k-means clustering is one of the most prominent method which is used in clustering. जहाँ पर k is, it creates one group. Okay, so K means clustering creates a several set of groups. जैसे हमने अभी flower के example में देखा, so it will try to create a group nearby to its all nearby elements. So what will happen here is data points are clustered based on the similarity of the feature, where the centroid of the K cluster are used. So K becomes a centroid और उसके जैसे similar pattern सलमान खान जैसे सारे इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं. This is a very common clustering method. ओके, तो उसको के मींस क्लस्टरिंग बोला जाता है. सो इफ यू सी दिस एग्जांपल, आई एम श्योर आपने शायद वो covid19.org साइट देखी होगी. वहां पर के मींस क्लस्टरिंग बहुत बताया गया है. मतलब इफ यू कुड सी, सो ऐसा बताते हैं इन्फेक्टेड पीपल का वो क्लस्टर्स दे क्रिएट. if this is the person who has infected these many people, this is a cluster of people जिसका सेंट्रॉइड ये है और ये सारे उससे इन्फेक्ट हुए. सो ये एक मेन एलिमेंट है जहां से बाकी सारे इन्फेक्ट हुए, तो वो क्लस्टर क्रिएट कर रहे हैं वहां पे. ओके, इफ यू गुड गो टू दैट covid19.org साइट पे जाएंगे, सो यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ दे आर एक्सप्लेनिंग के मींस क्लस्टरिंग देयर. ओके, बिफोर आई गो टू एसोसिएशन रूल्स, आई होप दिस इज अंडरस्टूड हियर. यहाँ तक समझा सबको? यस, नो? ओके, fair. Let me show you k means, and it's a beautiful example. So, I have purposely unshared my screen. I'm opening something. So, Mm, just trying to open. Just a moment. I'm just getting that. I think they've removed it from COVID-19. How they're just trying to open that clustering part. Uh, no, they've got that out. I know. I just remember surfing it on this COVID site, wherein they have made these beautiful clusters. K-means and the K-standard both are same. Yes. Can we take a break for 5 minutes to listen to Honorable PM? Okay, okay, okay. दस अच्छा 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 okay. Okay. मोदी जी आ रहे हैं. Okay. I won't say no. I need to explain actually last slide. मतलब, थोड़ा सा K means and K centroid both are same. Yes, it is same. They work similar. Shall I continue or how do you want it? I have I have to discuss the last association rules. PM is live. Okay. I think PM मोदी जी का जो speech है that will be there on YouTube. वो रहता है. Okay, I'll go with majority. We'll continue. Okay, thank you. Uh, okay, so now association rules. Hello. Uh, okay. All right. Moving further. The last beautiful topic to make you understand association rules. Yes, please. Some, yes, please. बोलिए. आवाज आ रही है. हाँ जी. There is some noise. Uh, okay, I'll go by the probability. Can you show example of COVID for K-means? Yeah, I was searching for the same, but I think that COVID 19 की साइट से वो निकल गया है example. So I was looking for the same. Uh, somehow earlier it was there. COVID tracker. Okay, let me just search. Because उन्होंने क्लस्टरिंग को बहुत अच्छी तरीके से समझाया था इसलिए. Just a moment. If you can give me like 2 minutes, I can search and help you where it did go. They might have moved it for some reason. Anyway, I shouldn't be wasting time. Somebody in this work, ping.com, COVID local India. Uh, can you share the URL if you have? A direct URL बता दीजिए. Uh, COVID-19.org पे clusters का बहुत बढ़िया था. There is one more site for India, right? Mm, not this one. Not this. Not this. ये नहीं, ये नहीं. What I want to show you is not this. Anyway, I'll send that. I'll send that URL. I'll figure out because इन्होंने तो निकाल दिया है, but not this one, not this one. मुकेश, ये नहीं है, ये भी नहीं है. Uh, Thank you for helping me. But that COVID-19 की site से I was earlier I saw they had. Now they have removed it for maybe their own good reasons because it used to tell you the infection किससे कहाँ कैसे connected है. So that was quite wonderful. I no worries. I'll find out. I'll find out. I'll spend my time. I'll find out, and I'll definitely share the link in the same group. So rather, let me not waste time and go further. Uh, okay. No, no. Thank you, guys. But I'll find out and I'll get back on that. All right. So another important part in clustering we need to understand, okay, is association rules. That is another thing which we need to understand. So we understand the property of associativity. Hmm? So this helps a lot in purchase or understanding the customers and many such things. Association rules. What do you understand with that? Associativity. शायद आपने पढ़ा होगा. I'm sure. So mm, hello. Uh, hello. Yes, please. नहीं नहीं ब्रेक नहीं दिया ब्रेक नहीं दिया कंटिन्यूड है कंटिन्यूड है. Okay. So association rules, for example, it helps us in understanding different set of trends. So it's an unsupervised learning method. What happens here is uh, you associate with one to another. I'm sure आपने ये सारी चीजें MBA में या कहीं अगर किसी ने किया तो पढ़ी होगी. I feel that. Somebody is writing association rules would have application in retail industry a lot. मान लो कि कहीं किसी को पता लगता है कि the buying trends if somebody wants to find out. Okay, buying trends make if somebody is purchasing milk and somebody is purchasing eggs, so whether they will purchase milk and eggs together, somebody is buying milk and somebody is buying butter and bread. So would that be a combination preferred? So on the basis of association rules, the stores like Big Bazaar and D Mart they they stock their entire products that way, you know. जो उनका, when you see the alignment, when you walk into Big Bazaar, you start purchasing, they have set up in a way that you end up purchasing more. How that works? Because they've set up that way. You go to a mall and a food court is always on the top. Why? Because खाने के लिए इंसान ऊपर जाएगा. And when you're going top, you will be seeing all the shops which are coming. Okay, so with there is an association there. Something is connected. Okay, uh, which certain things are purchased together, which certain things are purchased when. So association rules helps a lot in that. So there are certain set of questions which I've written. Which products tend to be purchased together? Of only those customers who are similar to this person, what products do they tend to buy? And of the customers who have purchased this product, what other similar products do they tend to view or purchase? Okay, so cold drinks and juices are nearby that way. Somebody's writing impulsive buying, yeah, true, definitely. People also buy this along with the selected product. So yes, definitely. तो ब्रेड है तो ब्रेड के बाजू में बटर रखा जाएगा, चीज रखी जाएगी. क्यों? क्योंकि ब्रेड के साथ बटर एंड चीज is most likely to be purchased. Okay, so on the basis of the combinations, they understand the associativity कि भाई इसके साथ ये, इनफैक्ट उसमें और भी डीप डाइव किया जा सकता है कि ब्रेड एंड बटर तो बाय किया, सो दे ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट विच वन इज बेटर कॉम्बिनेशन. तो ब्रेड के साथ बटर का कॉम्बिनेशन अच्छा है, ब्रेड के साथ मिल्क का कॉम्बिनेशन अच्छा है, कि ब्रेड के साथ एग्स का कॉम्बिनेशन अच्छा है. तो बेस्ड ऑन द ट्रेंड्स ऑफ पीपल हु आर बाइंग, they'll figure out कि ब्रेड एंड बटर वाला कॉम्बिनेशन सबसे हाई है, ब्रेड एंड मिल्क वाला सेकंड हाईएस्ट है, ब्रेड एंड एग वाला थर्ड हाईएस्ट है. ओके, सो अब मुझे किस तरीके से अपने मेरे स्टोर को ऑर्गेनाइज करना है, विल कम दैट. नाउ when you see on Amazon and Flipkart they're doing upselling. How they are doing upselling? Related products. कैसे आते हैं? किस तरीके से आते हैं? Okay, so people are writing locally buying nearby vicinity, logistic. Shoe sellers now sell socks also. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Car with fast insurance, definitely perfect, superb. I think association rules तो आप मुझसे ज़्यादा better जानते हो. Lovely, lovely. Anything more? Anything more you want to share? Uh, let me let me share something more with you. Association rule name as the heuristic model. See, it's not same as heuristic model, sir. No, it's different. Okay. Titan sells jewelry, perfumes, wallets. Try to find patterns here. Also, we do try to find patterns here, but okay. Association rule is not meant to find patterns. It is just to there to understand the association between one another. Patterns finding are happening, so we can say heuristics can be implemented, but does not mean that it is same as this heuristic. How do we identify association rules? You don't need to really identify. I mean, like, this comes with the data. So when you got the data, for example, I'll give you an example to understand how do you identify association rules. Okay. मान लो हमारे पास एक डेटा आया हुआ और सेल परचेज का डेटा है. तो मेरा जो सेल डेटा है और जो भी मेरा सामान बिक रहा है, उसमें मैंने एक ट्रेंड आइडेंटिफाई किया कि जिस लोगों ने मिल्क खरीदा था, जिनके ग्रोसरी आइटम्स में मिल्क था, मिल्क के साथ साथ बॉर्नवीटा भी था, या जिन लोगों ने ब्रेड खरीदी थी, उनके उनके कार्ट में ब्रेड के साथ साथ बटर भी था. सो अगर मेरे पास डेटा है, ठीक है, लोगों के परचेज का, उस डेटा में से मुझे ये तो पता चल जाएगा. With that, I'll understand and I'll be able to give you and understanding कि with this, if this is bought, then what? Okay. So it totally depends on the data. So हम data के साथ ही खेलने वाले, तो मेरे data में से मुझे figure out करना है कि इस particular category में क्या क्या है. Okay. I hope this is done. Dinner with pav or cigarette. Pan, dinner with pan or a cigarette. Okay. Petrol pump providing PUC facility. Tinder. I don't know. I've never used Tinder, so मुझे पता नहीं है association rules वहाँ कैसे चलते हैं. In our case, TDS, income tax and accounting with GST software. Yes. Shampoo, conditioner, mask, shram, vada with pav. Okay. Someone's hungry. Social rules can be used to forecast what combination of dishes ordered by a customer in restaurant. Yes, definitely, definitely. Vada pav selling nimbu pani or buttermilk. Okay. School books with uniforms and shoes. See, so much data is coming. Lovely, lovely, very nice. So association helps a lot in that way. Okay. Uh, okay. So I hope you enjoyed association and I hope you enjoyed. Uh, there is a lot to teach you. बहुत कुछ बताने वाली चीजें हैं और भी बहुत सारे algorithms हैं. रिग्रेशन के अंदर भी लीनियर रिग्रेशन है, टाइम सीरीज एनालिसिस है, टाइम सीरीज क्लस्टरिंग है. बहुत सारे ऐसे algorithms पढ़े हैं. मतलब इट्स वास्ट. बट आई थिंक इन 2 घंटे में मैं शायद इतना ही आपको बता पाऊँ. ओके. Any further questions before we conclude the session? And I hope you enjoyed. I hope I am able to make you understand a bit of technical part of AI. So AI works on these technicalities. ये algorithms पे इस तरह चलता है. आपके business intelligence में भी ये सारी चीजें आपको help करेंगी. ऐसा है. I hope I am able to justify the a small tiny space of 2 hours. Uh, can you summarize in few minutes entire session? Uh, I don't know how to summarize. Quick recap. Okay, quick recap. Oh, we learned data analytics. Okay, we understood what is data analytics today and why it is used. Then we spoke about data analytics algorithm. So the entire study, what we did today, is to understand and work with the data. And in this data, set of classifications, clustering, these are the different algorithms which are used to understand the data, to get the new information from the data. मतलब उस data है ना, उस जादू को निकालने के लिए अलग अलग एल्गोरिदम्स हैं. हर एल्गोरिदम अपनी तरीके से निकल रहा है. कहीं हम बंटवारा कर रहे हैं, क्लासिफिकेशन यूज कर रहे हैं, कहीं हम किसी का एक ग्रुप बना रहे हैं. ओके. तो कहीं उन ग्रुप्स और उन बंटवारों को जोड़ रहे हैं एसोसिएटिव प्रॉपर्टीज से. ओके. तो समरी आई कैन गिव यू कि हम उस डेटा से इंफॉर्मेशन निकाल के और इंफॉर्मेशन में से नॉलेज निकाल के हाउ वी आर वर्किंग. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल ऑन फेसबुक अगर आप ऐड करते हो, which I'm going to teach you in next couple of sessions in social media, which is my favorite hot topic. How they do advertisement, target based ads कैसे की जाती है, how association rules are applied there to understand your customer base. With this data analytics, you will be able to understand that how to get your own patterns out of the data, how to market, target. ठीक है. आपका जो फोकस है वो टारगेट फोकस आप कैसे निकाल सकते हैं. अगर आप एक पर्टिकुलर पैटर्न को ढूंढ रहे हैं, एक पर्टिकुलर चीज को टारगेट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, सो दैट कैन हैपन विद डेटा एनालिटिक्स एल्गोरिथम्स. ओके. The difference between classification and clustering, one small little difference. Classification is supervised, clustering is unsupervised. Supervised का मतलब classification के अंदर defined set of class में बंटवारा होता है. बोल दिया है चार classes हैं तो चार ही classes हैं. जबकि clustering में ऐसा नहीं है. Clustering के अंदर number of classes or number of divisions keep on increasing on the data which is coming. So it is more dynamic in nature, and classification is static in nature. Okay, I hope आपको brief difference समझ गया हो, Mr. Mahesh. Um, and or condition in decision trees. And or condition in decision. Okay, while making a decision, sometimes we consider two possibilities. Either we consider two possibilities to be present, or we consider either one of them. So while making a decision, when it is an and possibility, you consider this and this. For example, you are doing a shopping, and आपको you have to buy pant and shirt compulsory. Then your shopping is complete. And if it is an or condition, so you'll say you'll buy a t-shirt or a shirt. I hope this suffices explanation. And or condition. So decision tree can be either based on classification or clustering. No, decision trees is a separate topic altogether. We can connect these topics with each other, but they are separate topics altogether. They are separate algorithm. ये सारे algorithm अलग हैं. Classification का algorithm अलग है, clustering का algorithm अलग है, decision tree अलग है. जिसको आप डेटा के ऊपर यूज करके you can get information out of data. You can combine the tools and you can use them separately depending upon your requirements. Okay. Mukesh, may you ask what is it? Nowadays, most cities in the world have car showrooms on the same road. How does it satisfy association rules? People don't buy cars together. Most of the cities in the world have cars on the same road. See, acha, you mean to say multiple different companies are having selling cars all together? You mean to say that कि मारुति का भी शोरूम बाजू में ही है, उसके बाजू में दूसरी you can say maybe Volkswagen भी बाजू में ही है. You mean to say that? हाँ, so उसमें एसोसिएशन में it is another beautiful thing. एक सिंपल बात है. आज आप जब शॉपिंग करने जाते हैं, आपको चाहिए कि आपको सारे के सारे ऑप्शन एक ही जगह दिख जाए. सिंपल सी बात है, कपड़ा खरीदने के लिए अगर आप जाते हैं, तो आप कपड़े की बड़ी मार्केट में जाके अलग अलग लोग कपड़े बेच रहे हैं, ताकि कस्टमर को मल्टीपल चीजें एक ही जगह मिले. उसी तरीके से ये कार शोरूम्स वाले भी अपने आप को एक ही जगह रखते हैं, क्योंकि जब ग्रुप में बिजनेस होता है, यहाँ से नहीं तो यहाँ से, मतलब फोक्सवैगन वाला कस्टमर शायद मारुति भी ले जाए, और मारुति का कस्टमर शायद मर्सिडीज भी ले जाए. यू नेवर नो. सो इसलिए वो साथ में रखते हैं. दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल फंडा ऑफ बिजनेस. इसी वजह से शायद मार्केट जो है, वो कपड़ा मार्केट एक साथ होती है, तो सब्जी मार्केट एक साथ होती है, सब लोग सेम चीजें बेच रहे हैं, आजू बाजू में मिलके बेच रहे हैं. यहाँ से नहीं तो यहाँ से, इसका कस्टमर इसको, इसका नहीं तो इसको, somewhere they will buy. So there is a lot of association there as well. I hope your question is answered. Okay, welcome. Thank you. Anything further? Or I think we can conclude the session for today. And आप मोदी जी की speech सब सुन सकते हैं. Maybe thank you everyone. All right. So I think we can conclude the session. People can go. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you tomorrow again with something more. All right. Bye bye. मिश्रा जी, आप अगर लाइन पर हैं तो आप कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं सेशन को.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. Bye. Good night, sir.
हाँ जी, थैंक यू. बाय बाय.